I want their eyeballs. Yeah, I've never seen anything about this kid that was encouraging at all. He really has to plan himself to make a good throw. He's not a quick decision guy. Everybody's shot in the rear about him being a mobile guy making plays with his feet. He looked like a fullback stumbling around trying to run the ball to me. He's not Lamar, so I don't know what he is. He's not particularly a good guy running with the football. And based on what I saw today, I mean, he missed two guys completely by themselves. I know it was in the rain, but quarterbacks do that. You make those throws. I know this. He can only go up. He can only get better because you can't get any worse than what he did today. I've never liked him. I still don't like him. I don't know. I'd like to know what he does so well because he's not a great passer, doesn't have good skills, takes him a long time to set himself and throw the football, misses easy throws, and he's not particularly a good runner. Other than that, he's a hell of a player.
That was hella funny. That dude's hilarious. Anyway, what'd you think of that? Instant take. Man, he had jokes.
The funny thing is, he hopped on 95.7 the game like some months ago and like said, "Oh, I love this guy." So it's like it's just what we talked about last week about the national media bullcrap. It's just the same thing. Like, oh wait, low hanging fruit. I need to grab some of that. Let me get on this action. Oh, by the way, guys, I never actually liked this guy. He can't move, he can't throw. He's a fullback on wheels or whatever. That was a good comment. The fullback on wheels. I was like, hey, you know what? That's a good use of a little bit of adjectives right there, buddy.
He's killing me.
I mean, when I think of that, I think he's out of the league for a reason. I think he's an old man for a reason. He's washed up the old place of thinking and everything. It's just who cares what he thinks, because you're going to get all these old, especially old coaches who are going to say, I don't see the point. Why doesn't he stand in the pocket? There's a reason why all of them like the statue quarterbacks, which is the reason why all of them are prehistoric, just like those coaches are. That's why they're out of the league for the first place. It's just they're just all dead in the water. They're all moot points. It doesn't matter. The only one opinion who matters is just Kyle Shanahan, the coach is there, which is why they keep rolling him out and see him for a reason. So Mike Martz, relax.
Why is this guy getting airtime? Like, why? Like,
attention grabber.
Why? Because he said what he said about Trey Lance.
That's
why he said it, because he knew, if I get in on this conversation, I'm Mike Martz, people will pick it up and they'll talk about it. Grant Cohn will talk about it. Damn right I will.
Worked.
Hell yeah, it worked. Thanks, Mike.
Like, last time he was coaching was here, the San Diego Fleet for the AFL. Brunskill was actually on that team, I think.
Wow.
But it's like they were terrible. They were terrible. Ain't no way I was going to a game, and it was just Mike Martz, like, dude, like, what? We're giving him the NFL coach and former NFL coach, which he was. But, like, can we just erase that title? Is it okay to erase people's titles eventually when it has been so long?
No, man, he won a ring. Hold on. I'm not taking anything away from Mike Martz. He won a ring, but does he strike you as someone who's watched a lot of Trey Lance?
No,
of course not. I mean, what he did was, like, I'm guessing I watched a few clips from week one and just decided to go on a rant. And I thought it was hilarious. But on the other hand, it was kind of sad. It's like, dude, you're a Super Bowl winning coach. Why are you doing this? Like, do you need attention? Do you need money? Like, you should be living it up in San Diego. What happened? Because even the presentation on it was funny, but he was also kind of like slurring his words a little bit. It wasn't the best presentation. I don't think it came off that great. Now, if it was a bit for Saturday Night Live, like, let me talk crap about every quarterback, that would be funny as hell. That would work. But that's not what this was. It wasn't intentionally funny. It was unintentionally funny, and it was like tragic comedy. It was equally sad and funny at the same time. You know what I mean? You're not really laughing with him. But anyway, I don't know why he would have
bashed him.
Yeah, why?
If you're gonna bash him, he legit dragged Trey Lance there, right? Like his name.
No, to be fair, he got Justin Fields too beforehand.
Yeah, he did. But I'm saying it's like he dragged Trey Lance as if he was like terrible that game. Trey Lance had more positives than negatives that game. It's like, what are you doing? The pass to outside the numbers to Juwan Jennings. The over to Brandon Ayuk,
Ray McLeod was one of the best throws the Niners quarterback has made in a long time.
Yeah, he picked up a 3rd and 13 with his knee or with the running the ball, and he had contact like 3 yards short and made it through. So it's like, what do you mean he's not gifted runner? That's not easy to do.
He's so dismissive. He's like, well, he's not Lamar Jackson. Like, oh, okay. So he's not the best running quarterback of all time. All right, fair. That's true.
We've never seen Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson, and we won't see Lamar Jackson after Lamar Jackson. Like,
It's just interesting to see someone be so dismissive of someone. It's like, hey, man, you better hope Trey Lance isn't good because that clip's going to follow you around the rest of your life. You better hope. Because did you say something like that about Josh Allen? I remember real quick one time I was interviewing Scott McCloughan on the record before the 2018 draft, and I was asking him who he would take #1 quarterback overall, and he said Baker. And I was like, well, what about Josh Allen? He said, on the record, you really going to trust some kid from Wyoming? It's like, damn, dude, like that's the level of depth you want to. I was like, dude, have you seen him throw a football, man? So that, I mean, I wouldn't argue with Scott McCloughan, but these are the kind of, you got to be careful. I've said stuff about Kellen Mond I can't take back. You understand? This is serious. This is real life, Mike. You better hope. I said some stuff about Trey I can't take back either, but that was a long time ago. I'm just saying. Sean O'Leary says, excuse me if I don't take quarterback advice from a guy that backed Mark Bulger then Trent Green. Those guys had decent years. What about JT O'Sullivan? Sorry, JT. You have a cool YouTube channel and stuff, but I remember watching you play. Mike Martz tried to give you the job over Alex Smith. That was a joke. Mike Martz didn't see it in Alex Smith either. Mike Martz, again, he won the Super Bowl, but what is his career without Kurt Warner? Tell me that. He had a nice little time with Mark Bulger, you know what I'm saying?
Journeyman OC.
Ethan M says, why do you think Kyle repeatedly goes away from the run when it works? It's almost like he doesn't game plan, having to use multiple running backs. Yeah, that's it, man. He had it going with Mitchell. Mitchell went down. He's like, all right, well, if it's Wilson, if it ain't Wilson, it's nobody. And it wasn't Wilson, and he panicked. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
I loved when they ran a triple option when Elijah Mitchell was in the game at that point. Granted, it picked up like 8 yards. It wasn't something big, explosive. But hey, if Jeff Wilson was running the ball, he the way he was, why don't you implement some options in there with him? With Trey Lance either keeps it or he tosses it to Debo on a sweep, or like you confuse the defense a little more. Maybe he was a little conservative because of the wet ball, but
that's probably what it was. That's probably what it was. Trade Jimmy G for Uncle Rico. Them Mountains have no chance.
Cowboys already signed him.
Hold on, there's one more. Merkin says everyone's saying Jimmy would have won. Go rewatch Colts game last year. You can't tell me Jimmy was the better quarterback that game. Lance is closer to Winston. Jimmy was crazy. I was on the radio in Maine. They're like a big Jimmy G spot over there, and they're saying like, so don't you think Jimmy would have won that game? I was like, no. They're like, how could you say that? I was like, what? You really think Jimmy would have won with no Kittle, no Mitchell? Like, what was he gonna do? He would have thrown like 2 picks. Sorry.
What would he have done differently?
That's what I'm saying. He would have thrown more picks.